Well, hello there. Welcome to another episode of Real WW Talk. I'm Erin.
I'm Candace.
And I'm Ricky.
Ladies, it is so good to see your faces. I'm so excited that we get to talk about our weight journeys and our health stuff because I feel like all of us have been working hard and rocking it this past week.
Yeah.
Candace, who gets to kick the ball off today?
You know what? I'm going to be so honest. I don't know.
Oh, no.
I was like, I could make this up and be like, it's Ricky. It's Erin. I have no clue. So I'm just going to go ahead and start us off. If that
Go for it.
See,
That
that's the confidence I have in my week that I'm just going to start us off.
I love it.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm doing really well. I'm doing really well. I think that you, Erin, a few weeks ago talked about you just kind of turn the tide. I think all of the talks and all of the stuff, the talk about us saying no to ourselves really, really hit a nerve. And I've been meal prepping. I've been morning exercising. I've been walking. I've been meeting going. I've been sharing. The scale is being very nice to me right now. So I just feel really good and I'm scared to death about it. But yes, I have been doing really well, really well. So,
okay, I do want us to come back and talk about being scared to death about it. Okay,
Yeah.
we're going to come back to that.
let's come back.
But I'm so happy. I can hear it in your voice and I can hear, the excitement. What is something this week that you did that you're so proud of yourself for?
I know when I am on it, when I am meal prepping like a mad woman, when I'm cooking, I have been in the kitchen and not just like hating it, like, oh, I found this recipe. Speaking of which, I am so sorry. WW, for those who are watching, I know that we have the podcast as well. What I am showing is the WW pumpkin spice cheesecake filled apple that they posted 2 days ago on their Instagram page. This little sucker for green is 5 points and 4 points on blue and purple. It is amazing.
Give us a quick rundown on how to make it.
So you're going to just so slightly microwave some Honeycrisp apples for 5 minutes, and then you're going to mix in a bowl some maple syrup, 3 ounces of cream cheese, some non-fat yogurt, and pumpkin spice, which is a mixture of cinnamon and not turmeric, but there's cloves and just all this yummy fall stuff. And you're going to put 1 egg and you're going to beat it together and you're going to pour the filling in the apple and you're going to bake it for 20 minutes. Oh yeah, I guess you'd have to do that part. You have to hollow the apple out. And you're going to bake it for 20 minutes. And it's divine. It's just really good. So
I'm going to need some guidance on how to slightly microwave it for 5 minutes. So
yeah, just slightly, not over, just a little, just a splash.
Okay. I love it, Candace.
Yes, that's my official review. It is Candace approved for anybody who cares what Candace says.
Yeah,
It
sounds wonderful.
It sounds really delicious.
Really
I posted it to the Real WW Talk Instagram page, our Instagram story. And I did put in there, for anybody who can do dairy, please try this and let me know how it is, because it just kills me that I can't do it. Oh.
And I did tell Erin that inappropriately, I know that Erin can't have dairy. Something in me feels like goat cheese fixes everything for Erin. So I was like, Erin, just make it with some goat cheese. I'm sure the maple syrup will make it better. You'll be fine. She's like, I don't think that's gonna work.
I have yet to find a good cream cheese substitute. I just, because most of them are nut based and I can't do the nuts, but someday I will. But thank you for trying it because it sounds amazing.
You're so very welcome. Put a little mint.
A little bit on top.
Just a bit.
How about you, Erin?
So I had a good week this week. Well, you know what? Hold on. I want to rephrase that because I was getting ready to say I had a good week this week because I lost weight and the scale showed me. So I want to retract that, because you can have a good week even if the scale doesn't show that you're going down. So I will say that my good week that I had was a good week of consistency. And it just so happened that the scale also rewarded the consistency. I think about Jeanette, who is a part of our local group, and then she's also part of our Real WW Talk group as well. Jeanette's lost well over 100 pounds. And I love how honest that she's been with our groups and saying that, well, I'm up 0.6 this week. I didn't do anything different. I've tracked, I've done everything. So sometimes the scale just doesn't reward you. But I know overall I've lost however many pounds. I know I walked this week. Like, she reminds herself and others of the good things that sometimes the scale just might be up. So I really appreciate that. So I wanted to highlight her on that because it helps me reframe how I talk about the scale. But yeah, so I was down 0.8 this week, which I greatly appreciated because, it's all of the, all the travel and whatnot. So, but I was consistent with my walks, and I've actually added in a morning walk as well. And what I've discovered is I am definitely a morning person. I really enjoy and have more activity bubbling up in me in the morning. And so I've actually added in a little bit of running into it.
Oh.
I love it.
I know. And then this morning I was out, and this morning was difficult. So we have a lot of humidity in the Baltimore, Washington area today. Like, it's ridiculous for October. So it was a little bit harder. However, I actually finished 2 miles under 30 minutes. It was 28 minutes.
Look at you, rock star.
That is
That's-
amazing.
Erin, you have been slacking on the Bravo star. Where's the star? Because that
Yeah.
deserves it. Like that 2 miles in under, what did she say? I'm going to say under 10. What did she say? 30?
30.
Okay.
Under 30 minutes.
Congratulations.
And 2 of my coworkers separately. So we're all still working from home. I only see my coworkers on occasion, right? And I saw one today, and I saw one at the end of last week, and both of them went, "Are you losing weight? Have you lost weight?" And I went,
Did you do the, oh, it's just a little thing? Or were you like, oh, yes.
I was like, I'm working on it. I was like, your girl's been working out. So yes, thank you for noticing, and thank you for saying.
Good. See, that's what we need to hear, are those responses. How do you respond to that?
Yes.
Yeah.
9 pounds is where it is. I can't wait to hit the 10-pound mark, and yeah, happy. So, but it's the discipline and consistency is what I have been really working hard on. So
let me ask you. So when somebody called it out to you, I know that you said it and you were, did it make you feel, were you proud to hear somebody acknowledge that your hard work? Did it make you feel a little insecure? Was it more positive?
No, it was positive. And these particular coworkers, I mean, I trust. We've got, it's more than a coworker friendship, we're definitely friends. So I know when it's coming from them, that it's coming from a really great place. And so, yeah, it didn't feel like a, or like, they've noticed that I'm fat.
I was just asking because sometimes, depending on the person, it can feel that way. So I'm glad that you were able to receive it with the love that it was given. So that's good.
And I love that you also discovered something about yourself too, that you are a morning person, and that you could add that extra workout in. And it sounds like you had a little more energy to be able to ramp it up to the next level. So
yep. And I'm still doing my 4 p.m. walk, shut the laptop at 4 p.m. and go for my walk. And that that's my therapeutic walk is what I call it. It's my therapeutic walk. I need to just get up after the day of sitting all day at the computer. I put on a podcast, and I just enjoy that same route, but at a leisurely pace. So
good for you. Good for you.
Okay, Ricky.
I had a very good week. I was down 2.4, and I was really happy to have some consistency. And similar to Candace, I did meal prepping, and I hadn't done that in a while. I kind of was relying on some frozen things, and I'll heat this up or that up. And then when I didn't want it, it was harder to motivate myself to come home and eat that versus stopping and getting something. So this week I ate what I cooked, and it felt really good to do that. It was funny. I definitely heard what you said, Erin, last week too, about just looking at it for 4 weeks. And it's like not a novel concept to break it down into a smaller time frame. But for some reason that kind of really kickstarted me thinking, okay, 4 weeks, what can I do in 4 weeks? And I also reflected on, there's some days with us, adding things to social media, sharing things with the group where I'm like, I'm not sure what I'm going to add today. What do I want to add? And I was thinking back to the beginning. Why did I have a surplus of things to add? Oh, because I was trying something new all the time. I was meal prepping different things. And so that got me motivated again to get back in the kitchen like Candace did.
Look at you.
Guys, I don't know what's in the water, but I am here for it. All three of us at the same time are feeling really, really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I just want to put that out there. I don't know if we had a week where all three of us were like, this is just great. We're just doing
I don't know.
But then the flip side of this, which I want to go back to, which you had said,
Yes.
right, is the fear that we're going to lose it.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, and it's very real because I think I feel that way with a lot of things when things start to go really well in my life. I'm like, oh, wait a second. I'm eating right. I'm exercising. I'm within my points. I'm being honest. What's about to happen? Waiting for the shoe to drop. Why do I do that? Why can't I just stay happy and excited? I get so nervous when I start to do really well because I just don't know. I don't know if it's a lack of confidence that I can sustain it, even though I feel like what I'm doing is very sustainable. I don't feel deprived. I don't feel like I'm doing anything that I could not continue to do. I'm just fearful that it's going to end.
I wonder if I have the same thing, and I'm just trying to talk through it. Have you ever thought that maybe it's a protective thing? Like maybe if I tell myself, oh, what if this? What if I fail? What if this? Like it's a way of kind of having a buffer or a preparation, I'm saying in quotes, because it doesn't mean you definitely are going to fail. But if you have challenges, is that kind of pre-thinking about it kind of a protective thing? What do you guys think?
I think that's an excellent point.
Yep.
Because we've failed at this so many times, or what we would view as failing it, right? That we're already building an insulation, our next excuse for why something didn't work. It's the same reason when you go to the scale, right? And it shows that it's up and we come up with a million excuses of why it's up. Oh, it's sodium, it's this. No, I've just overeaten this week. And the scale is reflecting the fact that I overate and I didn't track and I didn't have awareness for it.
And it was very weird, Aaron. You probably didn't pick up on it, but we had our meeting on Saturday with our coach Nadine, and I don't even remember what the topic was. I think it was friends and what's your support system and all of that. But you said somebody in the group had shared that sometimes they have coworkers who aren't very positive about their journey or who may try to food push and put things on them that they may not feel is appropriate. And Aaron, you said, and it's relevant to this, I promise. You said, well, but we've taught them that sometimes that we go and we are on for a certain period of time and then we're just off. And because we're not consistent, they don't value or I don't know if the word's value, but they don't appreciate our journey because they don't see that it is a consistent journey. It's not something that I'm always doing. It's something Candace does it for a month. Don't worry, she'll be back to eating cake a month from now. And I was sitting there and processing it when you said that. And I was trying to figure out why it bothered me so much. Not because what you said wasn't true, but more like, but it's not because I want to be off next month. It's really hard.
But also you have to take some ownership of how people are treating you. And that's, when you think about what Aaron said, it's like, oh, this person who's annoying me because they tell me, well, I shouldn't have that piece of cake. Really, they've been conditioned to see me have cake and gain weight, so why am I mad at them for trying to help me in their own way.
Yeah. So like what Aaron said, yeah, they're just used to you next week having, the cake. So you've taught them that. I wanted to fight and I didn't know why. Like, I wouldn't be like, first off, Aaron, that's not true because I'm trying really hard. But it's a true statement that
Mm-hmm.
I fall off, and I think that it is that self-fulfilling prophecy that I might do, to your point, Ricky, to make myself feel safe. It's better to assume failure. And then when it happens, go, see, told you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's harder when none of us are doing this to fail, right? None of us want to do this journey for failure. The fact that we're taking this step, the fact that we're laying out money every month to do this means we're putting a level of trust in success in some way. We're trusting WW, but at the end of the day, it becomes trust in ourselves. And I don't trust myself because I have let myself down so many times.
Yes.
And that for me is the hardest part of this journey, is building trust in myself that I am going to do what I say that I'm going to do, with the recognition that I'm also undoing years, decades of bad habits, bad thoughts that sometimes work against me. And I'm creating, like we've talked about, those new thought patterns and these new ways forward. But I fully agree with Ricky with that assessment that it's a defense mechanism so that when we fail again, we're softening the blow to ourselves.
Absolutely. It's more, it feels like it would be more painful if you actually believed that you could.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you also maybe didn't, then it's like, it feels like that'd be
Right.
worse.
Mm-hmm.
And many of us on this journey have not seen what it looks like if we do succeed,
Mm-hmm.
because we've never gotten to whatever that place is. We've worked really hard. We've gotten to a place where we're comfortable with, but we've not always gotten to, quote unquote, the end of the journey or gotten to the lifetime status. And when we start, I don't know about you guys, but when I get to a weight decade that I've never been before, I feel like I'm in uncharted territory, and there's a big part of my brain that says you can't do this. And then I start sabotaging myself and gain weight again.
Absolutely.
Do you guys feel like this is sometimes related to how we view or how we imagine we will be like when we get to a certain number? Because, if you have a certain goal, sometimes, like, let's say it's a weight goal, sometimes it's also tied to a different goal. Like when I'm hit Wonderland, I will also have, a nice car, just thinking of something random. Or I'll also be able to run a marathon. Like maybe that's what I tied to it. But I didn't practice for a marathon. I lost the weight. I didn't practice for a marathon. So it's like you have these, I don't know if you guys can agree with that or have felt that way, but it's like I've imagined that this number means more than just a number. It means I'm accomplishing these other goals. And I think there's also fear tied in that I'm here or I'm almost there, but I'm not going to hit these other goals. So I'm going to give up
What if I lose all the weight and everything I've ever wanted that I'm associating and believe would happen if I lose all the weight doesn't come true?
Exactly.
Yeah, because losing weight and the weight has always been our excuse for not living and not having certain things happen. So it's like, well, if I just were smaller, my clothes would be amazing. I would be rocking that. And then you get there and you're like, I haven't been looking for any new clothes. I don't know. Or like you said, Ricky, I was going to be a triathlete, but I have not picked up I don't own a bike, and I don't run unless I'm being chased. But I thought that somehow that was going to happen because I hit a number. And I think it's also something for me when I think about it is I want what's familiar. And when I get to a decade that I've never seen, not even the top of Wonderland. I know the top of Wonderland quite well. You start to get into the 180s and you're like, whoa, this is crazy. But I don't know what that life is like as an adult.
Right.
And
Right.
that's scary because I know life at this weight.
And, it goes back to the adage that you have to prepare now for what it is that you want, right? Like you don't get the job in our job spaces, right? Nobody looks at you and goes, okay, I think now today we make Candace the director. No, Candace has been the director all along. She just hasn't had the title. And now we're going to give her the title because she's already been doing the work of a director. And now she's getting the title. But like mentally for us, I need to be living as my goal weight. Right? I need to be living and doing the things now at this weight that I'm going to do at whatever the goal weight is. I'm slowly, that weight is slowly releasing from me, but I am the same person inside my head now as I will be when I'm at goal. I think that's for me the mental shift around this time is I'm trying to operate right now as Erin at goal so that when I get to goal, I'm already in the habit. I'm already maintaining it. I'm already, doing the kayaking or whatever the weird things that I envision I'm going to do then, right? I'm just not going to create as many ripples in the water.
But what you're saying is sustainable. You want to do it in a sustainable manner. And I think that should give me a little bit of solace to know that I am making changes now that feel very sustainable and things that I'm actually excited about. But I also wonder if a piece that is under there, I always go back to my therapist because she brought up some really good points, which is why I guess I paid her. But worth, do you feel worthy? Do you feel worthy of it, of the weight loss? Do you feel worthy of feeling good? Because sometimes we can be addicted. We've talked about this to unhappiness, addicted to the struggle, addicted to all of that. So that when things are starting to go well, you're like, wait a second, I am used to struggling. This is too, I'm too happy. Let me sabotage. And having to tell myself, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to, you're worth feeling happy and you enjoy everything that you're doing. So just keep doing it.
And I think that also goes back to, if you've been on this plan for a long time, like we have, not separating, like Erin, what I hear you saying, not separating goal and lifetime from when we're losing, because I think the biggest challenge is in our minds is that it's separate. Like when I'm losing weight, it's completely separate and a different lifestyle from when I'm maintaining. But no, like the foods that I eat to get me to lose weight, I shouldn't be drastically changing that when I get to maintenance. I'm not going back to the things that Ricky at, her starting weight would eat. So I think that's something we're kind of unlearning too.
Big point, Ricky. Very big point. I love that, because it's true. It's true. What you should be, and you hear them say it all the time. You should be doing what you're going to do forever to lose it, or else you're going to put it back on. But I still think that sometimes we get into that diet mentality, and want to help the process along instead of just saying, like Erin said, no, I like walking at 4:30 now. This is my mental health. This is my mental health break. I really enjoy kind of pepping it up and running in the morning. I'm not doing it to try to increase the weight loss. I just like how my body feels. I've been challenging myself on the Peloton, and I like having some endurance and being able to walk up my stairs and not being winded. That feels good, so it's not about the scale. It's about my just overall health. So,
I like the way I feel in my clothes better now.
look at that.
For me, like the optimal thing is that I can go into my closet and pick out any article of clothing and put it on and wear it. I don't have my wardrobe divided into what fits and what doesn't fit. To me, that is like one of the worst places to be. And I'm still kind of there. And I'm looking forward to emerging from that and having a wardrobe that I can put everything on and feel 100% comfortable at any point in time.
I join you, Erin. I would love that. I would
Me
love.
too.
I have some cute stuff in my closet. You hear me? I mean,
Uh-huh.
amazingly cute. And yes, I know I should have maybe thrown it out because why am I? But no, this is some cute stuff that I am going to fit into.
I hear you. But and recently, Erin, you got to travel and, go on a plane, just thinking about how amazing it would feel, not only being a goal, but being able to truly enjoy those moments in life where you don't have to worry about, how much am I going to sweat? Am I going to be in a middle seat with strangers? Am I going to feel like I'm overtaking the seat? Am I going to be like, is the seatbelt barely going to fit? Like all of those things you don't have to question anymore. I feel like those things should be at the forefront of our minds so that when we, are making daily choices that we're thinking about those things.
And I don't mind saying that with the travel, that was at the front of my mind of, oh, I don't remember traveling at this weight. Am I going to be uncomfortable in this seat? Am I like all of those pieces? And I didn't like that my brain was so absorbed. You've heard me say it before. When my brain is so absorbed on myself, it takes me off my goal to be able to observe other people and love other people and nurture them, because I'm all focused in on how I think other people are perceiving me. And am I going to fit? Am I going to fit? Now, listen, I am a 6-foot tall woman full of presence, as you all well know. I don't always fit in everything anyway. It's like I go back to my childhood of being 14 and the same size that I am now and not being able to fit into anything. So I still carry that with me, but I don't need to add to that trauma today by simply the issue is that I ate too many Oreo cookies last week.
Yeah.
It's just why am I doing that to myself?
Well, and I can feel you because with my issue with the plane, since we're just talking about it, yours is the fitting. Mine has always been I have this issue with the temperature. And they say when you're a fluffier girl that it's hot. You feel hot all the time. And Candace does not like to feel hot. And so being already in a plane that's cramped and feeling overheated and knowing that it could just really be me and others are not, and I can't make them.
And the heat can trigger anxiety and panic attacks.
So and I'm already a bit dramatic, very slightly, not a lot, okay, just a splah. But but I don't appreciate the hand gestures. It's not that big.
You're on the podcast. You can't see us. We're just doing like that little bit with our fingers,
just a little.
And then I started increasing the size of my hand.
Yes,
my whole
he's
hand.
like, yeah, it's right here. It's the whole hand. But I have a goal that for others may seem a bit silly, but for me, I would like to be thin enough that I'm cold, and I'm always that person that's going, it's so cold in here. Gosh, it's just so cold. Gosh, I need a blanket. I don't understand. I really think they're joking. I'm like, it's hot in here. And they're like, oh, it could be your insulation. And I'm like, you're probably right. I don't even take offense to it because I'm worried about getting on planes right now at my current weight because I can't inconvenience the whole plane, but I might be hot because yeah.
So, WW shared this really good resource. It was a few years ago, but I was recently looking through the articles on the website, and it seemed like they had a revamped version of it. And it was like 5 or 6 tools or tips to prepare you for weight loss. And one of them was like knowing that you're going to be cold more, like you're going to be colder than you typically were before when you had a little more insulation in your body. And there were a few other things that were really important to me, because I know one thing I struggled with when I did originally lose weight is getting more attention. And like for someone who's shy and not really seeking attention all the time, like it was something I had to learn to deal with. And it would have been nice to have that article before that, because I think some of the weight can be put on to hide and to, not attract that attention. But I have to share that resource because I felt like it was something that people who were getting to goal could really benefit from reading.
I'm so glad you just said that, Ricky, about how we sometimes use our weight as a way to hide, even though there's no hiding.
Right. It doesn't make sense.
There's the pillow. I told you, the pillow.
Right. Right. And I think a lot of this journey is learning how to unhide ourselves. And Candace, like you were talking about, the confidence is bringing that confidence to the forefront. And we're not used to that. We're not used to expressing that kind of confidence, and learning how to have the confidence now, learning how not to hide now will make it so much better when we reach whatever that goal is for us. I think that's a really key thing.
And knowing that it may not be something that comes naturally, and it may not be something that comes immediately, but going back to our statement a few weeks ago, which is doing it afraid. Sometimes you're just going to have to do it, even though it feels uncomfortable. You're just going to have to keep going, because another thing that I found, and I don't know if you all can agree, but it rarely is as bad as I thought it would be, with almost 99.9995% of the things that I worry about. Wondering what you have labeled the extra attention to mean, or how you think it's going to feel when you actually get it and you work through it and don't run from it. You may say, oh, that wasn't that bad. Yeah, people are looking at me and that's okay. But you have to do it afraid.
Yeah. And to add to your point, I think one of the things that in my mind I would be better at or I will be better at a smaller weight is defending myself, standing up for myself, being confident, kind of like you're saying. And I have to share, this is a few weeks ago, I was in Trader Joe's, and, even before COVID, I didn't like people being in my bubble. Like, personal space is important to me, and I try to give it to other people, even if that's not reciprocated. Well, there was a lady who was looking at the flowers while I was, and she just slowly started reaching in front of me, and she was kind of like almost edging me out. And I said, you know what? Excuse me, I'm standing here. And that was, for me, a huge risk. And I said, I'm going to move because I'm done looking here, but I'm standing here. And I feel like as a minority, as a female, as, someone who's overweight and feels overlooked, that was a huge thing for me. I'm not waiting until I'm 110 pounds and acceptable by society standards. I'm standing here now and I'm important.
Yes.
Oh, Ricky, that is just so wonderful. That made my whole night.
Like, we could just stop this right now.
I was going to say, this talk is over.
It's all the work we've been doing, guys. This is
great to see you next week. We're finished. There's no podcast. We're done. That's amazing, Ricky. I know. How did you feel? I just wonder, now that you're thinking about it, I hear that you feel proud. I think
very proud.
Do you feel good about yourself?
Yes. There have been moments in my life with things that people have said to me, things that were racially motivated, things that were just offensive, that I haven't said anything. And that was there's probably 20 instances of that, like, over my lifetime. So this was just one moment where I can say, I'm not doing that anymore. And it kind of takes a little bit of the hurt away from when I didn't stand up for myself. It doesn't completely, cover it, but it's like, yeah, I may not have stood up for myself before when this happened or that happened, but from now on, I'm standing up for myself.
And in that moment too, you learned that you could. So you've already created this new, we talked about brain pathway. You've created this new brain pathway, right? Where Ricky will advocate for herself, and Ricky is strong, and you did it. And what was the woman's reaction?
Well, she kind of rolled her eyes and but like Candace said, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Like, she didn't yell at me. She didn't go get a manager or say she's going to call the police. I wasn't aggressive. I wasn't mean. There's a difference between being mean to someone and standing up for yourself. Yep. And I think that's an important distinction for everyone to make.
Yep. Yeah. You were assertive, and that was it. It's done. Yeah. You got what you needed to be able to do, and you moved on, and the world is still spinning, and you're that much more confident for having done it.
And other people's opinions of you are none of your business. So it
Yeah.
doesn't matter what she was thinking, because you know what you did for you. And you left you left Trader Joe's honoring yourself. And I think that leads to you wanting to make different decisions that support that version of Ricky that deserves that respect and deserves that confidence. That's just another reminder for myself.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that too. Someone may not have done anything yet, but I'm going to be like, I'm here. Be like, okay, I didn't say anything. Well, good.
Take up the space.
Yeah.
It's your space.
It's okay.
You don't have to give that away to anybody. So I think that this even goes back to, you know, how we started out talking, right, about the confidence and not sabotaging ourselves and having that consistency along with it. I mean, Ricky, you just made a moment where you've said that you want to speak up more on those kinds of things, right? And you were presented with an opportunity and you took it. You were consistent in that opportunity to be able to do it. And so I think all of those pieces play in together.
Yeah. And I think, you know, the last thing, because I'm just so I've seen, you know, having had a chance to go out with you different places, and also as a reformed people pleaser myself, you know, I've also seen how you've reacted when you didn't stand up for yourself. Yeah. And you'd say, did they even see me here? I mean, did somebody, I mean, Erin, did you all just see what happened? Did anybody see that? And you may have left and maybe felt disrespected and just not good about yourself. And you thought about it and mulled over it. Yeah. But just to see the opposite side of it, it's just it's a wonderful, wonderful testimony.
Okay. One final thing that I'm going to ask on the back end of that, and then we'll get into our Weight Watcher, or excuse me, our WW Leader of the Week. How much longer have you spent thinking about this moment where you were assertive versus before when you were run over?
I think I probably spent less time thinking about it because I was very proud and I wanted to move on. But I think when the instances have happened where someone's offending me, I didn't stand up. I'm also thinking about I didn't stand up. I'm not just thinking about what they did to me. I'm thinking about what I didn't do for myself. And that, I don't know, cycles through my head a lot longer than, hey, I stood up for myself. Even though I was proud of it and I'm still sharing it with people. Not that I went around saying, hey, everybody, guess what I did? But I think it definitely was with me for longer.
Yeah, you're not chewing it over in your head.
Right.
You're not filled with regret. You're not filled with disappointment. It's unhiding ourselves, coming out of these little dark moments and stepping into a light space. And you did that. Yes.
I can't wait to hear more stories of how you guys are doing that too.
Yeah. All right.
No pressure.
No pressure, right?
None at all.
So think on it. Okay. So let's highlight our WW Leader of the Week. Who wants to take this one? Candace or Ricky?
I mean, I can read it.
You want it? Go for it.
So this is Jasmine K. So we want to go to her meeting. She was someone who was recommended, and she just seems like a really bright leader, someone who's overcome, you know, a lot of obstacles and then, you know, lost the weight to become healthier. And she just seems like someone we really want to be a part of, check out her meeting. So she has a few different ones this week. I know Candace is going to try and drop in tomorrow, right?
Yep, I'm going to try.
Yeah. So I know I definitely, if I could make that 4:30 one, I would. But we're definitely looking into this. We heard great things about Jasmine and look forward to seeing her meeting or workshop.
Yep. And we know that she also listens to Real WW Talk. So it was one of our, and actually it's pretty cool, is one of our new members of Real WW Talk in the Facebook group joined in and started attending the meetings because she's heard us talk about how important the meetings are for us. So that's just so cool that we motivated somebody to go to a meeting. Yes. Thank you. But her very first meeting was Jasmine giving a shout out to to Real WW Talk. So
Look at
thank
that.
you.
That's
Yes.
just, yeah.
Awesome.
So we've got to pass the allegiance along for sure.
Come on now. We have to go to the meeting. We have
Right.
to.
So we'll have to actually, maybe we have to send a Real WW Talk meeting night time, and we all just go crash Jasmine's meeting. That would be, the whole group shows up.
Yeah,
Let's
that
do
would
it.
be
do it.
fun.
I'm game.
All right. Well, that about does it for us. Hey, we want to thank you so much for subscribing on YouTube and being part of the Real WW Talk Facebook group and Instagram and podcast. And if you're going, what, all of those pieces, you have all of them? Yep, you sure can. You can find the links to everything. If you're listening on the podcast, we have them all in the cliff notes, if you will. And we try to include the links to everything wherever you see us. So we'd love for you to join in and be part of the community. And if you are listening to the podcast and you get a chance, would you rate and review the podcast on whatever platform, if they allow you to do that? That would be really awesome, because it just helps more people find that connection point between themselves and WW as they're trying to make that, help them make their journey happen like we are. So we're all, like we said, by the way, and if you are new, WW, we're pretty sure doesn't know that we exist. We're all members here, just working out our weeks. So
Yeah, we're still trying to get Oprah to give us a shout out. It hasn't happened yet.
and
Maybe when we're at 70.
Yeah.
one day we know,
Yes.
day Oprah will see us.
It's not going to be the three. We're going to have one there, and she's going to go, hello. And we're going to be like, "Ah." But can I please leave us with a quote that brings it full circle? 'Cause I'm
Yes.
just so excited about this quote, and it's in my head since we talked. To bring our talk today full circle, there's a quote that's in my heart that someone shared with me that says, "But what if I fall?" And the response is, "Oh, but my darling, what if you fly?" And I want us all to fly today.
I love it.
There you go. And
Get your wings.
get your wings and fly.
Beautiful.
Maybe that'll be our new sticker, will be a pair of wings
Yes, I will post it in the Facebook group. I promise.
with a WW in the center there. I believe I can fly.
Oh, yes. There we go.
Beautiful. Thank you, Candace. All right. Have a great week, everybody.